What's up, family? Supreme peace, blessings, and harmony. This your boy Allah M Hotep, otherwise known as Hotep, formerly known as Bubba Hotep, and we back with our first episode of the King's Table. I got my brother Ak, and also our great elder, the brother Baba Curvins, and we're gonna go ahead and get into our topic for today. So today's topic is about the election. I know y'all brothers, as I have seen online, people going at each other thoughts about it. It's a very serious topic, especially in the climate we in. And I just want to know your thoughts on the election. The winner, loser, is the celebrations that's going on right now. We just want to dive deep into it, and go ahead. So anybody want to go ahead and start, they can jump in about their thoughts on the election.
Man, it's interesting times. It's a lot of tension in the air. It's a lot of people crying right now. It's a lot of people cheering and smiling. Me personally, honestly, I'm just kind of indifferent. I feel like when you look at the history of the country we live in, I'm happy to be here. We kind of know no matter who's in office, it's really up to the everyday people. It's really up to us to make the real change. So, whoever's in office, I'm not really excited or very fearful either way, because I know no matter what, it comes down to, what I do in the community. So personally, I'm kind of indifferent to what's going on right now.
Yeah, I feel that. I think to protect your energy, you have to be able to move that, especially knowing you, brother. You got a lot of spiritual insight, so I feel like you have to be that at this time, because I feel like they're trying to, it's a tug of war. They want to pull your energy either way. It go. They just want that. For me, it feels draining, especially dealing with the media, everything surrounding it. But I definitely agree with you saying, 100%. Baba?
Hey, y'all, Baba Curvin here, Baba Ghani. I do concur with Brother Ankh and both of you young brothers, very powerful young men in this community, and I'm honored to be on here with you all. And according to my schedule, I'm definitely going to do my best to be here with you. I kind of agree with Malcolm said way back when it comes to American politics. For us Africans living in America, it's like choosing between Lucifer and Satan.
Right.
No matter which one you get, you still get a devil. And Malcolm did this thing. He said the only difference about the European in the South versus the one in the North, the one in the South is more like the wolf. He'll come straight out and eat you. Tell you how he feels about you, how he treats you. He don't try to hide it. The one in the North is more cunning, like the fox. He said, but whether it's the wolf or the fox, both of them goal is still the same thing as to eat you. So even though we know we got Biden in here now, and there's a whole lot of Africans living in America excited about Biden being in there, like Brother Ankh said, we shouldn't be so excited, because we're going to still get the same thing we've been getting. Only thing is going to be covert as opposed to Trump being overt.
No,
perfect breakdown.
I definitely agree with that one 100%, because at the end of the day, it's like, for me, Trump was a devil, or Trump is a devil, but Biden is a demon. Like, they're the same person. They're the same person. And like, for me, personally, I'm not going to celebrate Joe Biden, because at the end of the day, Joe Biden, the world we live in today, I just feel like Europeans have an agenda. Everything in 2020, you can see the agenda they moving by, what they doing. It's a hidden government behind the current government that they show you on TV. It's like when you at work, you got the co-workers at work, but then you got your supervisors. You ain't gonna never see the CEO of the company. You don't see the CEO who really run America. So when it comes to American politics, I think back even from the 60s, American politics already had been hijacked. And me, as just a black man in America, I just at the point that I feel like we got to do what we got to do for ourselves. Like, it's so much chaos in our communities. It's so much chaos among our families, so much chaos among our communities. Everything that was going on, these people are not going to come fix that. I don't care if it's Joe Biden. I don't care if it was Donald Trump. They have their agenda, and their interest is going to be for European people, for white people, and the European interest in America and their land. So I think for me, either one of them, I feel like it's a bigger agenda what's going on. The people who they call the deep state, the Illuminati, just the elite, the higher government, the higher or the hidden government, these are the ones really controlling it. And I think they manipulating the streams, getting certain people into power so they can further their agenda for the earth. And I think COVID is one of them many as well. So, point blank period, black people, we got to do what we got to do anyways, because people got an agenda, they going to do what they going to do. And I'm not going to celebrate either one of them, because it's like it's nothing they going to do for me. What they going to do for me? Nothing.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Sometimes I like looking at things from all sides, because, it's definitely, we know the country we live in, we know the dominant culture, we definitely know, things like credit redlining and all the different factors that play to make things happen. But, something I kind of want to bring up, like, even when Obama was in office, right? Like, it really doesn't matter who is in that seat. Right. Anytime we expecting, that top down type of movement to create change for us is never going to happen on a significant, way. Like, we can look at any movement. The movements just for things like, workers' rights were like, when they used to work the kids forever, or women's right, or whatever type of movement that happened, it always started from the bottom. Everyday people, making it happen. So I don't care if it's Obama in the office, if it's Trump in the office, whoever's in the office, they're not going to make the biggest critical changes for us. Now, they do impact us. They do influence us. So I'm not trying to say that stuff ain't important and act like it don't exist. But, just the mindset that somebody magically finna pop in that office and make some things really critically happen for us on a day-to-day level. I just don't think that don't even match history. It don't even match, reality. I know you, Hotep, you good with the history. I don't think ever nobody came from any high political position and made any change for us.
No, and I agree, and that's why I feel like that we definitely gonna have to do what we have to do for ourselves, though, at the same time. And I think we gotta have faith that we got the ability to do that. I think at a lot of times, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not one of them people who it make you upset when for me, it make me upset knowing that it's people who really rule this planet, and they playing off the tensions of not just black people, all of America. That what really pisses me off, because I know they playing off the people intentions. And I feel like most human beings have good intentions. Most people are going to vote, and most people are telling people, go vote because we can do this. And I understand it's a bigger play at hand. And just, again, for me seeing just what has happened this year from even from Trump term, Obama term, our people was getting shot in the street. They hide our whole history from us as a people. It's just, I think it's nothing they're going to be able to do for us. We're going to have to do the things that we got to do for ourselves, and we got to have faith in that, point blank period. Because at the end of the day, if we are our own men, so when you've been staying with somebody for so long, at what point do you be like, okay, it's time for me to get my own and be self-independent? And I think a lot of times our people don't think that it's possible before that, but it is possible. It's definitely possible. Like, we done built empires before in the past, and I know, and you can do what humans have done, humans can do. We can do it again. But just I don't know. I don't have no faith in these people in this system, because that's what I have seen in my life. And I know that these people are, only word I can think of is extremely wicked.
One thing we should remember, y'all, is that the mindset of political organization or rule, the whole concept is indigenous with us. We invented that. And other things that the so-called European, the so-called white man, the albino took from us, they changed it and altered it and used it to exploit the masses of the earth. And what I'm loving about this conversation, and we got to make it plain, since we're talking about the election and politics right now, we got to remember that freedom is never given. I'm hearing Baba Hotep say that in its own way, but it's always earned. And this country will never give it to us, because if they were, they would have been done gave it to us by now. So just because we had ability to move around the planet in here in America, don't mean we really free. And I think that's one of the things that hoodwinks us as a people, that we're indoctrinated with a misconception that we really are free. So when you talk about uniting, collaboration, unification, and all of that, that's very powerful. And I'm glad to be a part of this discussion based on that. But I want to make it perfectly clear on how we know we ain't free is because, you know, the United States Constitution listed us as 3/5 of a human being.
Right.
With all of the Democrats and Republicans who've been around for years, none of them have went and changed that to make us 5/5 of a human being, which is a whole. No man can define for you 5/5, but I'm talking about from a political perspective, what we're talking about. The other thing is that the Dred Scott decision, they never changed that. When the Dred Scott decision, the United States court system concluded that there's no law that they would uphold against albinos, European Caucasians, against Africans living in America. In other words, they can do whatever they want to us because we're not unequal. And then there's other things from a constitutional legal perspective, making us sovereign and so on and so forth. They never did those things. So I'm saying those are the reasons how we can see that something is amiss here, that they never intended for us to be equal or treated as equal. And I could go on, but like I said, I'm not trying to monopolize the thing, but I'm definitely agreeing with what being discussed here. And if we it's some powerful stuff being discussed. Audience, I hope you're listening real good and got your thinking cap on, because we're going down there.
Man, there's 2 points I want to talk about that both Baba Kirvan and Hotep we mentioned. So Baba Kirvan, we pretty much all of us, we saying like we can't expect freedom. Pretty much freedom got to be earned. Pretty much we got to take it. And also we see this thing that we trying to collaboratively work together, but there's an issue where we don't really understand that we're not free, or we might not, the situations might not be as for us or anybody when it comes to America. So like for y'all, what do y'all think that next step needs to be to really help people see, I don't know, really create that change we need to create to have that freedom that we need? What do y'all think needs to happen?
Honestly, I think the first thing that we need to do, we need to be educated into who we are as a people and have a knowledge of self. I mean, we really are, honestly, like sometimes I think I'd be like, damn, this is for real. We really are a people who lost in the wilderness, who live it on the earth, the oldest people on earth. We're the oldest people on earth, the first people on earth. So we've been here for millions of years when nobody else was here. So, and we are at a state in the world where we don't really know our history. And the history that has been fed to us in the school systems is a lie. So, and you starting to see that now in our generation of people, it's system breakdown. Like, it's cultural breakdown, it's family breakdown, relationship breakdowns. People are having breakdowns within ourselves because we don't have a knowledge of self. So, since we don't have a knowledge of self, when we go try to, and we have a distorted form of history, we go try to build something, everybody arguing about different things. We need to have a holistic knowledge of self, who we are, who, what, when, where, how did we get here, what's going on. Then we can start to have a conversation about what next we need to do. But I think 100%, it has to be, we have to start with a knowledge of self. We have to know who we are, and we have to become educated so we can be able to build and do the things that we need to do for ourselves. Because everybody has to be able, every man has the right to govern themselves. And people, once we understand that, we understand we have the right and we get the knowledge of self, we'll see what's really going on. Because people all day can say, well, black people ain't doing this, black people ain't doing that. But if black people said right now today, hey, we're going to get up and start our own nation, we know that we'll have a problem with the establishment. So what that's telling you, are you really free? Because if a Chinese man if he got the right to rule his people, the Asians, the Arabs, the Indians, the Europeans, why don't the black man, why have he been denied the right to really, truly have his own and take care of his own? You know, so we got to get it out of ourselves.
One of the, if you will, the cover being over our eyes type thing is the appearance of being free. We have not defined for ourselves what is the definition of being free. We have allowed them to define that for us. And a lot of us don't know what the meaning of that really means. Therefore, we think that we keep striving for some equality, that defines freedom. But that don't define freedom. I think it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of the Nation of Islam gave us a good definition. He said that you had to have a land mass of your own where you can have your own economic system, your own farming system, your own business system, your own political system, you govern yourself, unless you have a land mass of your own where you can do those things on, then you're not really free. And there was a group in the 60s and 70s called the Republic of New Africa, and they had petitioned the United States government for 5 states so that we can have land mass of our own. And part of their stand was, we don't cut all your cotton, we don't cut all your sugar cane, we pick your tobacco, all this stuff. We don't build up your system with everything, our expertise, our skills, our genius, we don't give it all to you. And as a result of that, now in a form of reparation, give us these 5 states and some money to help us go for ourselves for a minimum amount of time, and then that would be the definition of freedom. And until we have that, we cannot continue to let people define freedom for us. That's the definition of freedom for us. Until we have that, we're not free.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And I want to jump in something you said. Like we picked a cotton, our women raised their children. They said we were filthy animals, but women was putting their children on our women's breasts. We supposed to have been dirty animals and all these lies that the education system has put out. But also at that time, us picking cotton, this country, the wealth of this nation is built off of that, off the free labor. So I agree. If America really wanted to deal with the racial issues and they really, really cared, they will have committees like South Africa did that sit down, and it's not perfect in South Africa, but they will have committees that still sit down and really get through and deal with racism. But America doesn't want to deal with it because America not even telling the truth about it. It hasn't started step 1 of healing of the relationship. It's a toxic relationship that we are in with this establishment. They have became filthy rich off the blood of our ancestors, and even with our expertise today and our intelligence. So I agree with that. Like, if they really, 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 really want to make things right, give us what we owe: land, economic, and also apologize and tell the truth. So it's a layer. There's many things we got to get to work on.
Hey, so I kind of want to tie this back in. Sometimes when we get to talking about our history, get to talk about all the things that happen, people check out because they feel like it's not really relevant. So I want to kind of tie this back in. So the topic's about, what we think about the election, what we think about the new president, what we think about the past president. So, we talked about a lot of the different terms and way that, the dominant culture looked at us, calling us filthy animals and things like that. Well, let's talk about Joe Biden and the crime bill, right? What y'all think about that? Let's talk about how he said that we was super predators, right? Let's talk about, and I know y'all really better with the history when it comes to me. I could put up the points, but y'all really get the details. But let's talk about what was the crime bill, what was the impact on our people, and what role did Joe Biden play in that?
From my understanding of it, he introduced it. I don't know if he was in the Senate or the House. I wanted to say he was a senator at the time, and he introduced the crime bill. And then him, from what my understanding, him trying to introduce it, that's when the comments about the super predators. He don't want his kids to grow up in a post-racial jungle. So my thing about the problematic statement, people are like, well, you have to forgive. Well, how do you know this man to even change his mind? He's a politician. How do you know he don't really still feel like that? He's not going to tell you this. So Joe Biden, a lot of people are in prison right now because of Joe Biden. And you got, when it's 2020, and let's be honest, you got people out here doing all type of shit, and y'all running to vote for Joe Biden, y'all getting all this, never mind, I ain't gonna go there, all this, him and Kamala, and Kamala done locked more people up than voting for Kamala and voting for Joe Biden is like voting for the prosecutor and the DEA. If you ask me,
What's your thoughts, Papa?
You both have handled that part of the question real well. Thanks both of y'all for that. I don't have to piggyback on none of that. Y'all made it perfectly clear. Both of them, they had the same agenda. The vice president-elect and the vice president female, who's going to be the vice president, gender still is the same, and that is the oppressed Africans living in America. There's no way you can slice it other than what it is. I think that's much more important in the climate and atmosphere that's going on now, since we're talking about the election. Maybe we should be talking about how Donald Trump, I like to call him Donald Trump, how Donald Trump became the president through the Russian influence, and that he is a Russian agent, a Russian spy who actually became president of this country. I believe that Obama and the FBI, CIA, and all those secret agencies, so to speak, knew who he was when he got in there. And that's why Obama was on him so hard, because they knew who he was based on his relationship with his taxes and all of that. And I'm trying to take it to another level. The seriousness we should be looking at right now, the time we're living in. Let me remind you that Donald Trump owed China $230 million or more. They say Donald Trump is indebted to Russia for over $5 billion or more. So they got Donald Trump in their pocket. Now, what I'm saying is that the reason why he don't want to make the peaceful transition is because Putin or whoever in Russia have told him that the only way Russia can be identified as the leader of the free world or take the place of the United States is that they see blood running in the streets of America. So this is why he's going to give it over, because he got the borders already. And this stuff about the election, counting the votes and all that, they had already knew the same night that Biden had more votes in electives and support than Donald Trump. But they was playing it off, stalling, because they wanted to contact the indigenous militias within the country, because they were Trump was trying to get them to have an insurrection, and it still might be an insurrection, to let them know, the government want to let them know that they are aware of who all of these organizations and groups are, and that if you do try this, you're not big and bad enough to go up against the United States government. There's going to be a big slaughter. So they try to, wake these people up, but still, Trump had this order until somebody can reach him and snap him out of the spiritual stupor that he's in. More than likely, there's going to be some blood ran in the street. Because I guarantee you, they don't threaten that man's life and probably even his family life if he don't complete his mission. And that is to destroy the United States of America by creating a war among American citizens.
Okay, yeah, I can see that on where you're coming from on that, but with that, I don't think it's necessarily Donald Trump who's trying to create the war. I think it's a government above Donald Trump, a hidden government who is trying to put that out, because I feel like they have an agenda to move forward. I used to work at a telecommunications company, and I remember working at this company. It kept saying 2020 vision, 2020. Like in 2020 is going into like automation. The world's changing. So we always had these different meetings, and they always talked about 2020. So when 2020 started, and then we get first of all, it was just back to back. You got Kobe that happened, then you got Corona, then the George Floyd. I think the hidden government, the shadow government, the deep state, it is these people who is trying to destroy the United States. This is not just for black people. This is black people, white people, Asian. This is for everybody they want to destroy. They want to take everybody out of there. I don't think I don't think it's necessarily Donald Trump who's doing it. I'm not a Trump supporter. I think Trump is a devil and demon, but I do think Trump was put up there for a particular place because I feel like the Democratic Party has now changed into the globalist party. So the Democratic Party want a one world government. So, let's say the elite want a one world government. A lot of people part of the Democratic Party are the elite. And the elite use the Democratic Party to put in places for this one world government. Then you got the Republicans who have transferred into the Nationalist Party, and they want to keep government national. And they're kind of like the Nationalists and the Globalists are kind of like at a war, and they're fighting each other. So I think this is the elite people who is somewhere eating caviar, who are sitting and making plans about the world, and they are trying to destroy America. They want race war, down to Black Lives Matter, the movement. I'm not talking about the slogan. I'm talking about the organization. I think all these people are they have their hand in so many pots. This is bigger than what we think. And they want all the people to bow and have a civil war and kill themselves. I think they have strategically been planning this for years. So I think I agree with you on some points with that, Bob, but I think it's bigger than Donald Trump. I think it's really, if anything, Donald Trump was going to give people a little more time, because I think the elite is real deal. They really, really, really are working hard to bring this agenda in, for they want government.
I can add to that. I find that really interesting. So, like I said, I'm not a fan either way, and it took me a long time to get here. I think I was talking to maybe you, Hotep, or maybe another friend, but it took me a long time to get to a place where I could detach my emotions from what's going on, so I could really see what's happening. When you really look, it is bigger than, race or color. We are, pro-black. We do this stuff every day for our community, but it's definitely an elitist type thing against everybody else. And so, something me and some people was talking about when it comes to Donald Trump, never in history have I seen national media fight against their own as much as Donald Trump. So to the point I had to look like, man, why is they on this man so much? They don't got good hearts. We already know the media don't have good hearts. They just got a job. We already can follow the money and see that there's just a few people who control these channels. So I was like, man, why is they fighting against their own so much? So, what I had to do over time, and I'm definitely not Mr. Facts on everything that's going on in the government, but I had to start looking, what is Donald Trump doing inside, shaking up stuff so much that they want him out so bad, So it's interesting to see, because when I look, Donald Trump did some things that I haven't seen no president do, for people, So I can't really say what's 100% true or not. So I always say I'm not sure, but when it comes to this whole concept of cleaning out the swamp and some of the things that I've been seeing, or even just like the different things with, getting people out of jail, black people out of jail, and just all kinds of different things. So when it comes to Donald Trump, I'm not for him or against him. Like I said, I'm indifferent, but I definitely think this is above him. And I definitely think, if it comes between him and Joe Biden, Donald Trump is probably the less of those two evils when we just kind of look at, how everything's playing out. But that's just in my humble opinion. So,
I agree with that 100%.
It's interesting, but I definitely think this is way.
Joe Biden, I just don't. He's just somebody I personally I don't trust either one of them, because I think when you say something and you say something against Biden, people 100% that mean, you support Trump. No, I don't support any. I feel like black people, indigenous people, Africans, whatever we want to call ourselves, whatever we identify with, we need the rule of ourselves. I don't think no other race should be. Marcus Garvey said that. Any leadership that teaches you to depend on another race is a leadership that would enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend on another race is a leadership that enslaves you. They gave leadership to our ancestors, and they enslaved them. And as I said today, we said, we don't want to do this no more. All 50 million people in America, let's get our own nation. We'll have a problem. So we're still enslaved in a way. We maybe not physically and financially. We'll have a problem with these people. These people will be like, oh no, they're gonna try to find any type of way to destroy what we try to build. So I don't think no president, I'm not looking for them to do what we got to do for ourselves. If you gave me a good candidate, I will go vote for a president. I voted, but I just didn't vote for a president. But if you gave me a good candidate, I will vote. My ancestors put work time and we pay taxes into this society. So that's all right. I just didn't see a good candidate. But if a person acts me a lesser of two evil, my thing is, I'd rather somebody shoot me from the front. I'd rather know you coming. I want you to say what you got to say, and I know where I'm staying with you. With Biden, I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? And to me, even when I went and watched the last debate before election, before November 3rd came, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. And when I watched that last debate, I don't know. He just gave me Decepticon vibes.
The one thing about Biden, I want you. Hopefully, we won't miss it. With Biden is put in office, as we have already agreed doesn't happen, is because they want him to restore it to the semblance of normalcy that existed before Trump. Now, what the definition of that is that they want it to appear that it's a superpower again, and that they're in control and everything is flowing the way it should flow based on America being a superpower and in control of the earth. Now, the thing that I want us to understand again, and I do agree, is that like Baba Hotep said, there are other countries who supporting Russia. It's not Trump, I agree. It's Russia and then the other countries who are living in fear because of now Russia being a superpower, that they starting to piggyback with Russia. If you remember, Russia was one of the first countries that separated themselves from the European Council, the European committees, the European concepts that had been governed for years. Well, the Europeans were in, bed with all of the Arab folks and the Chinese and Japanese and all of them all over the earth, even the Africans, our brothers and sisters. So I'm saying now that there's a shift taking place, trying to take place, to where they're coming out of America because America have allowed somebody who is not of them, Donald Trump, to get in office, and he upset it, the whole system by the tariffs and the mindsets, the things that he did was unprecedented and had none of the American people or even them in their best interest. So if they ain't making no money, and then he had this atmosphere, they know who's controlling him. So that's why they're going, the European unions are trying to lead back towards Russia. The Orientals, China, Japan, they're leading toward Russia. The Arab nations, the Arab states are leading toward Russia. Again, Biden's job is to try to bring it back to America in the sense that everything is all right now. Y'all can come on back home to us. We're going to create a way back like it was where y'all can continue to make y'all billions and trillions of dollars and be pedophiles or whatever y'all want to be and be protected by us and our armament, so on and so forth. So, though, to me, and we all got our opinions, and that's what we're here for. It makes a great dialogue. This is the reality of the time we're living in now. But I'll say this before I be quiet. Neither one of them, as we all have agreed, is going to profit us. That's their doing. We're still the low man on the totem pole. If it go back to normalcy, we're the low man on the totem pole here in America. If all of them decide to go against America and make Russia number one, we're still the low man on the totem pole.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback on what you said, Bob. But see, for me, and like I know, like you said, I know we all got our own opinions. I definitely 100% agree with you. Like it don't matter what's going on. We got to do what we got to do for ourselves. Like point blank period. We got so much to do. We got so much to learn. And while we got the age of information, we need to take that. We need to be able to get educated to ourselves. And it's a lot. First of all, we going into a new age. The universe changing. We're going into an age of enlightenment, an age of awareness. And it already has happened. There's so many people being, who are what they say awoken or waking up or, just aware of what's going on. And that's been prophesized for hundreds of years. That's why I feel like a lot of times the government wanted to keep us in a lower vibratorial energy so people can't really see what's going on. But, so I agree with you that we have to do what we got to do no matter what the presidency, as we stated earlier. But when it comes to Joe Biden, the one restoring it, I actually think it's opposite. I think the people, when I was talking about the nationalists and the globalists, how the Democratic Party is not a globalist party, or basically they're pushing a globalist agenda, low key. They're not going to come out and say that. And the Republican Party, not all Republicans, they all elite, is different people inside of them. Some people might not agree with it. Some people you could be in the Republican Party and you're really a globalist. But a lot of people who are a part of the Republican Party want like the nationalism. They want to keep the American sovereignty, basically. They want American sovereignty. They don't want to be ruled by this global one world order agenda. So I think it was opposite. I think they actually put Donald Trump in to try to restore the order, and I think the people who they put in office now are just going to be two puppets, and they're going to be used to really, really bring in this agenda. So, the
globalist agenda.
Yeah, the globalist agenda, the one world government, the one world order, and they already have started. Like they've been working on this. Like you basically already in it. Like if you look at Google, that's a tracking system. Facebook, social media is CIA database. They want to pop in somebody they can see what you is, who your family and your friends is, what it is. It's nothing to be fearful of, but that's the reality of it. They've been working on this agenda already. Then they bring the right events in, and then they can take everybody's rights. So let's say with this election, if they got, what I will say about Donald Trump, and this is why a lot of people couldn't get past the things that him, because he was problematic in the things he said. He was a racist, but he just said what he had to say. Like, he didn't make people feel comfortable. Joe Biden and them are going to make you feel comfortable. They're going to hide their racism. They're going to do what they got to do. But Trump said it. So when him saying the things out of his mouth, he made these white people, allow a lot of white people who felt comfortable saying the things that they wanted to say. The racist and doing racist stuff. He put fuel on that fire. That's what he did, though. But when it came to the interest of America, and the interest is nothing for us. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing for black people. That's why I don't support Trump. It's nothing for us. But I think him protecting the sovereignty of America, he was trying to do that. I remember when the coronavirus was coming, really going hard, and they was trying to censor him from saying certain things on Facebook. He took it. He had some type of fight with Facebook, and that's where a lot of these, you know how they were censoring people posts? That's why it kind of stopped, because of Donald Trump, because they was censoring him, so he kind of did something with the courts, so people can't be censored like that. So I think it was really him important for Donald Trump to try to real deal save the sovereignty for European America. Let me make that clear, for European America. You know, so I get what you're saying, Bob, but I just think it was opposite. I think they're bringing Joe Biden in to really go ahead and further push that agenda, and that's going to be furthering with like, oh, we have to save you from the coronavirus, more lockdowns, martial law, all that stuff.
Vaccinations.
We have vaccinations. We have to save you guys, and that's something I really want to say about the vaccinations. And I'm gonna let one of y'all get in. But if you have a government who hiding our history, you come in with, we know about population control. We know that the government, Margaret Thatcher, Planned Parenthood, Margaret Thatcher was friends with Bill Gates' parents. That was part of the Planned Parenthood Federation. Planned Parenthood, she actually said, it actually documented that she was wanting to exterminate the Negro race. And she was best friends with Bill Gates' parents. That's documented. So when you got vaccinations and you talking about population control, who do you think the first people when they bring the vaccine going to come, and who you think they want to give it to? It's going to be us. So we talking about vaccines. I think it's perfectly they're going to bring it to give that to us.
Oh man, I'm glad you took it there. You know, with vaccines, I'm not pro-vax or anti-vax. I really never really like to put myself under whatever labels. I'm just about truth. Right. And so it's funny when all this coronavirus stuff was happening, and I'm not speaking either on if it's real or how it came about. Either way, we know it has an impact. But I thought it was funny. Everybody's like, man, wear your mask. Get the vaccinations. But none of these world official experts from all around the world, nobody was actually talking about health. Nobody was talking about nutrients. Nobody was talking about the immune system. Like, you know, so it's so funny to me. So when it comes to this whole vaccination game, you know, there is no one magic bullet that's going to help everybody with anything. Anytime you try to treat everybody the same way, you know, it's going to be consequences. So just if we look into the science, look into the history of vaccination diseases and how most of these diseases didn't go away because of vaccination, they went away due to like having proper cleaning of things and sanitation. Like that was the real critical change. And when it came to a lot of these health issues, so with the vaccination, you know, you just got to look at the history, like you said, with the Margaret Sanger and all the different stuff. I mean, you just got to look at the history of the country, get our feelings out the way, and just look at the facts of what happened here. And so when new things happen, all you got to do is look at the patterns. You know, that's how you can separate the truth from the illusion. What do we have a history of happening in this country? And then you can see what's most likely to happen. So when it comes to the vaccination game, I just see it's like, give me a choice to empower my immune system in the way I eat and my nutrients in proven factual ways that I can prove with science. You know, don't force me to put something inside my body, because that's the truest form of like not being free when I can't even choose what goes within my body, you know? So yeah, that's...
Brother West, I'm gonna have you scoot over. It's probably gonna be to your left because it's this, come over a little more to, maybe it's your left. Yeah, it's a box up here that's showing the time. I can't see your face. I've been trying to mess with it. So, the audience, if y'all see me keep moving this thing, because this box is being up. Y'all can't see
what I would go back, I'm a whole chap. What I would go back, I want to address all of that, but I know we limited, so I try to say a few things and then bag up because we're all in this together and we're working as a team. When it comes to a global economy, America have always fostered the mindset of a global economy, and that's why all the other nations always bought into America being out front in the global economy. What Donald Trump did is that he, by the orders of Putin and the people who was now leaving the European Union, havoc in the economic places of prosperity, make wealth for everybody, that the wealth began to become limited and only targeted to a few who Russia and Russia's collaboratory type people was getting the benefits. So this is why it's so important right now for us to look at that picture and know that it's always been there, and it ain't just about economics, it's about power that comes with economics. Power is more important than economics, but they use economics to back power because with economics, you're able to buy the bombs, you're able to buy the weaponry, you're able to pay the mercenaries to come in and do whatever they're gonna do. I'm gonna be brief, I'm not gonna overlook the importance of the pandemic with Corona because people are dying and that is real. But again, what we should be concerned with right now, in my opinion, is that the atmosphere is set for an insurrection within this country for blood to be ran in the streets. And the blood that's going to be shed because of racism, because of their birth rate is at 0, and they're jealous of us just for us being who we are, melanated people, that they're going to reach the atmosphere been set. The prejudice, the racism has been set. So they're ready to come out, since Democrats, as you say, voting for Biden, this justifies them now to come out as Trump supporters, but most of them don't, I'm gonna say it flat out, they stupid. They don't know Trump working for Russia. They don't know Trump is a spy. They don't know Trump and his wife is agents. So they're gonna come out against the American or the African living in America as their weird problem, and then it's gonna, we gotta remember, in case you don't know, in the last 9 months, the sale of arms and ammunition have been way over 100%. It ain't been us buying them. It's been them buying them. So if they buying them, who they gonna use them on? They not gonna use them on nobody overseas.
Exactly. But also I think they're buying them too. They buying them, don't get me wrong, the racism always been in America, and I think racism was here way before we all was born. You know, this is something we inherited as a people. So I think that, you know, they're buying the guns, yeah, probably to kill us. Historically, that has happened. There's never been a time in this land since Europeans have ruled this land that they have not killed us, or in certain aspects, groups of white people, because it's not all white people. Most white people want to be left alone, go to work, go home, and enjoy their life, travel, take care of their kids. But it is racist, demonic people who just hate us as a people. And there's a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to put them in, because I hate when people put black people in all one category. So I'm not going to put them all in one category, but I just don't have the time to figure out who the snake and not. I don't have time to do that. But I feel like it's the media who is the one who's really pushing the race. Like I said, it's always been racism here. Now we have camera phones where you can actually see our people getting killed, you know, with your own eyes, by the police or by white vigilantes who just feel like they want to go kill a nigger today, you know. So we actually see it. Then the media takes this and they pump it, and have people at each other's throats. So, but it works in their favor, because in that thing, when they got the race war, the black people fighting the white people, the Hispanics, you mad at the Islam, you mad at these people, you don't see that they're all running to the bank. The elite, whether it's the Democratic, it's just these rich European people who is still doing as a European agenda, and the agenda is to have power. And now it's not just power over us, it's power over all the people, all the different races. Like I seen this video, a black woman was on a plane, and I was thinking this one day, so when she said it, it's crazy, like it tripped me out. She told the white man on the plane, he was like, you just like me now, you got a mask on. They control you too now, you got a mask on. So, like, at the end of the day, you know, they want the warfare to bring in this agenda, you know, whether it's Donald Trump. For all we know, Donald Trump they could have put a puppet in. 90% of probably 80%, that's probably what it is. He bought that seat and they used him as a puppet. They seen they couldn't use him, or if they could use him. But whatever it is, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, two people from the same beast.
Excuse me for like 30 seconds, y'all. Go ahead, Wesley. I can still hear you. Excuse me for 30 seconds. I apologize.
No problem. Hey, so a piece I'm going to add.
I want to get back to the vaccine. I'm going to let you go, brother, but I want to get back to the vaccines you said, because I had told you about that box, couldn't see you, because I really want to talk about that. We got 10 minutes, though.
on that quick point that you and Baba was talking about, the thing that y'all both were saying that was the same is like, due to President Trump not conceding the seat, due to the media, due to the whole elitist movement that's affecting everybody, we in this critical time that I think Baba is trying to speak about. Things can get really dangerous for everybody right now. Where race wars, all kind of different things. So I think that's a critical piece to take out of all of this, because we already knew. We said this right from the beginning when this started, that it doesn't matter who's the president, but we do still want to understand how this can affect us. So we're in this real sensitive time with Trump not conceding the seat for whatever his reasons are, and with the media playing his games. So, I think that's where our mindset needs to go right now is on, and like, this is my whole motto. I never expect anybody outside of me and my community and my people, and I'm not just talking about Black people, working together to solve these problems. So I think our mindset need to be, what should be our mindset right now to best keep us safe, to protect our communities, knowing that we at this critical time right now in history. So I think that needs to be the topic,
Yeah, I think I agree with you, brother. I think we got to make sure we keep ourselves physically safe and physically protected. And also, the biggest thing is mentally, spiritually, and emotionally protected. Because this year has drained people. And then just take away the thing of the politics, just in people's personal lives. I know y'all have seen this, so many people leaving the earth, passing away, this happening, that happened. And then you turn on TV and you, all day you being traumatized with negative energy and negative news, then coronavirus. Which the coronavirus is real. When I was talking about like the hate and understanding vaccines, I'm talking about the distrust I have for the elite. I'm not saying like some people like the coronavirus a hoax. I know it's real. I had a family member who was, I say, murdered by the elite with the coronavirus, because I feel like this disease, this is just pop up. They can say it came from China, it came from here. For me, it didn't pop up. They put this out here. So it's murder to me. Everybody who died from the coronavirus, you ask me, is murder. So I think we have to be mentally, spiritually, emotionally strong and protect our energy, our aura, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And physically, we have to be able to protect ourselves physically. And everybody know what that pretty much means. Because you don't know what's coming.
I like where Brother Wesley, led us in this area he just talked about, because I think that is the most important thing, that we come to some type of awareness that the survival level should be heightened in a time like this. We talking about the election. Just because Biden and Kamala was elected is no time to go to sleep. We still got dissidents. We still got hostile based on political parties, based on racism, who's very heated, and not only Biden and the Democratic Party, but they're heated at us. And we all know the history of the country is that they use us as a scapegoat to justify whatever might have. We got numerous references that we can draw inferences from. Well, they don't use us as the guinea pig, and this would be another opportunity based on the insurrectionist type theory to use us as a guinea pig. Again, the COVID is real, and I heard Baba Hotep saying that the Democrats will use that to lock us down. The insurrection is real. They will use the insurrection to lock us down, and most of us are going to go for it because we don't have no weapons and no armament to defend ourselves anyway. So time they put it on the news, don't go out there, because them white supremacist Donald Trump supporters is killing everything African living in America. The majority of is going to tuck our tail between our legs and hide in the house, and then they can come and do whatever they want to do. I don't want us to overlook these points. No, so it is important, and I agree with you, Brother Hotep. The more spiritually, mentally, emotional fit we are, and then we got to ask ourselves, except we're there already, and some of us are based on who we are from a hotel Africanness conscious perspective is there. But majority of our people are not. They're as sleep can keep the talents and skills that have recently acquired over the last couple of years and other naturopathy type ways to heal us and feed us with farms and stuff like that. We're long away from that. You know, those are things that we got to bring back. But if we're shut down, then how are the people going to get their diabetic medicine? How are they going to get their cancer medicine? We're going to lose hundreds of thousands and millions of people just by them not being able to get the medicine they need, by them not being able to eat properly. The food you got in your house might be all you have. Then if you don't have the wherewithal to be able to be conscious on eating one meal a day or one meal every other day or one meal every 3 days or whatever, you're going to exhaust what you got in your house real fast. Why? Because you don't have the knowledge of what to do.
Yeah, I think
you don't know how to survive in a revolutionary type atmosphere that can be created by the hotel and brother based on a pandemic or the insurrection, either one.
Exactly, and I think what we all can agree on, especially Brother Baba, is that if something coming in, we have to be able to protect ourselves, and we have to be wise and understanding, no matter what spectrum, political spectrum people on, it's something bigger happening. As you say, I love what you said. You can't get comfortable, even if whatever people political thing on, however it is, but you can't get comfortable just because you got Joe Biden. I'm not. You know, whatever people choose to do is choose to do, but don't get comfortable because we got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in office. That's just my thing. Don't get comfortable with it because you never know people's true agenda and intentions. And even if it was Donald Trump, don't get comfortable. We just we can't be comfortable. I don't think, especially we dealing with COVID, all these things, we don't have that. I don't think that's coming back to that. I think the universe is changing. Consciousness is rising. The energy of the planet is rising, and people are becoming more aware and awake, and it's going to push human beings to see more and more. You're going to see more and more going down. The more and more life you go on, we're going to see more and more. But it's just having faith and being in tune with yourself and being in tune with the Most High, because whatever comes, just being prepared for it, because as I agree, something is something. They got an agenda, and they moving forward with it.
Without a doubt. So I'm not sure how much time we got, but I definitely want to get this piece in here. So I'm all about giving people that knowledge and that food to kind of stimulate their thought, but I also think it's really important to give them specific tools. So, you know, whoever's listening to this, you know, I don't know where you at in understanding what's going on in the world, but, you know, we talking about we need to be more aware, we need to be more conscious, we need to wake up, we need to fight back, and all that starts like Brother Hotep said, we need the right knowledge. So something I recommend everybody to do is it's a way to understand truth. It's a way to kind of filter through all the mess that's going on in the media and really figure out how to solve problems. So I don't care if we're talking about the coronavirus, if we're talking about the election, there's a way to really think properly and reason properly to get to these solutions. So on November 14th, I recommend everybody to check out this man named Dr. Shiva. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. I know me and Hotep talked about him, but he got this free class going on called Systems Thinking and Systems Health. And it's just a free lecture he's doing for everybody to check out. Why I say this is real important, because all throughout history, you know, we have these movements, we have these revolutionary time periods that we tend to either miss out on as Black people or whoever you are, or we tend to get our movements compromised because we don't know how to think and we don't know how to see the big picture, because the people we dealing with or the forces or the elites we dealing with, they thinking on levels that we're not thinking on. So, you know, I've been following him for some time, and he's doing a great job at making these principles and making things very understandable. And he gave away a lot of his knowledge for free. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but check out Dr. Shiva. On the 14th, he's doing a free class, and it'll really give you the right knowledge and tools to really take care of ourselves health-wise, and really to make the movements we need. So I just wanted to add some tools to this conversation too. So,
and I will piggyback on that. Thank you, brother, for that powerful bit of information. And I will piggyback on that by saying that we have always been a survivalist people. I remember growing up, and they used to say, "When you throw me in the jungle, I'll run the bad boy or whatever. You put me in anywhere, and I'm gonna take over." Because that's the spirit that really was embedded in us. And what I will add, the melting pot type dialogue that I did hear in some of this is that right now, for the time we're living in history, we got more people on our side from various ethnic groups in this country, even though it might not appear like that, than we've ever had. And one of the reasons for that is like Baba Hotep said, they're more informed. Reason is because of racial relationship. It ain't just you the N-word no more. Some African living in America is some albino's wife or some albino's husband. Kids get children together. They got offspring. They got the whole family concept where the albino side of the family and the African living in America side of the family, it's eye to eye. They care about one another. So we would never be the limited privileges we have in this country if it had not been some of the albino so-called white people who have not corralled around us and helped us along the way. And I'm saying that in order to survive, we should be aware that, there's a lot of the criminals out there ready to do their thing, racial relationship, and the knowledge is so high now, people are willing to help us and love us and respect us for who we are. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's I think we out of time for today's show, Brother Aunt, Brother Baba. Yeah, Brother Aunt, Brother Baba. Do y'all have anything else y'all wanted to say?
No, not at all. Just thanks for the opportunity.
All right.
I would say thanks for the opportunity too, but I'm also going to say you got the editing job.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna get that out.
You the editing job. Thank you.
But all right, that's our episode for today, King's Table. Tune in next Wednesday for our next episode. I don't know, this was a really good conversation. So much more I really, really, really want to say. There's probably so much we can't say about this particular topic, but we have a very interesting topic next week. Like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think in the comments.